show that when we're making decisions, the choices you're making, how to interact with your grandkids, what to say, not to say, all of those decisions, a lot of that is driven by your past actions. And so we have a bias towards
Mm.
repetition. So whatever behaviors or decisions you made in the past, the repetition of that is dictating how you're going to show up right now. So that's the repetition bias. So we're not really making decisions based on our goals, our intentions, or logic, or even if you know this is a better thing to do or say, but where the push is going to be towards ending up saying and doing and showing up in the same way that you have in the past, right? And which is why the micro practices become really important because in the middle of your day, you are changing that behavior from the usual to then saying, oh, what might gratitude look like in this moment with my child or grandchild, or what might. So it's not about spiritual bypassing and fake positivity, but more about returning to like not letting just one lens dictate how you're seeing the situation, but opening your lens wider to now look at the same situation in different ways, bringing in more curiosity, maybe more compassion for yourself. So you have to see, like, what do I need right now? Is it more compassion for myself or maybe more compassion for my grandchild, like depending on what they're going through at school or whatever. Or maybe right now what I need is more, just more joy. The fact that you get to live with your grandkids. I would have done anything to live with my grandmother. So I lived in Kuwait and she lived in India. And I got to see her only for 2 months during summer vacations. And we lived in a small room with, talking about space. Of course, people in the West and now have different expectations of privacy and so forth. But I lived with my grandmother in this small house, which was, and we had a queen's, not even a queen, it's a double bed in which she slept and I slept in the middle and my cousin brother slept. We were both like kind of the same age. And so we three people slept in the same bed and she lived with her brother, who was a chief minister of Delhi. And so, or he was in Congress or something. So he would have public coming and sitting outside at 7 in the morning. And there was no, the privacy was our sheet. We had a cotton sheet. It was summer. We would cover our faces and we would be sitting here. Here's the bed, and here is the sofa for people to come and start sitting. And they would start lining up from the patio outside and all the way in. And they would make, and here we were, three of us sleeping, and they would be there. And yet I went back to India every year to be with my grandmother because she told us great stories and she was so present with us. Like she loved going to the movies with us or telling us stories. And so it was just, her presence. And I think as young kids, that's what, especially in this attention economy, with the lack of attention economy, where, you know, no one is feeling seen or heard. I think the gift that we can give of generosity is of your full presence, of our full presence to the people in our lives, that we're not distracted by our phones or chores or anything, and we're just there. Even if you're not saying anything or doing anything, just the fact that you're fully there and appreciating, even silently appreciating your kids or grandkids or partners, bringing that quality alive within yourself, they will feel it. And you will find ways to a different way to approach it. So that's the whole idea of disrupting our habitual patterns with these micro practices, that we open our minds to these different ways of being that are based on more wholesome qualities.